Now, I'm 100% sure that everyone is aware of the James Harden situation that took place with the Philadelphia 76ers. And just a quick recap on that. Over the summer, James Harden publicly comes out and calls Daryl Morey a liar and say that he will never play basketball for him ever again. And when James Harden said this, he was in China, and I guess he was hosting some type of basketball event. He had a microphone and everything. And obviously this got clipped. It got posted to the internet, and it ultimately ended up going viral. And after something like that, calling the GM a liar, I don't see how a player can come back and be a part of the team, especially swearing that he will never play basketball for him again. And so this situation took place in the middle of the summer, and it actually dragged all the way out into like the first week of NBA basketball. And during this time, James Harden was away from the team, wasn't showing up to training camp, wasn't showing up to practice. He tried to rejoin the team right before the first season of the game, and they didn't allow him to travel with the team. And now James Harden, he's a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. Essentially, he was traded with PJ Tucker. They were sent to the Los Angeles Clippers, and in return, the Philadelphia 76ers, they received Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, and Robert Covington. And a lot of people think the Philadelphia 76ers got fleeced because they don't receive no all-star level talent in return, but I respectfully disagree, and I think this can ultimately end up being a net positive for the Philadelphia 76ers. And don't get me wrong, I am a fan of James Harden, and I think he is a generational talent, and I think he was really good in his year and a half with the Philadelphia 76ers, and I also think he should have made the All-Star game last season. He was averaging 21 points and almost 11 assists a game. You got to get him into the All-Star game. But nonetheless, even though James Harden is an All-Star level player, and the Philadelphia 76ers didn't receive no All-Star caliber players in return for James Harden, I still think this could be a net positive for this basketball team. First thing I want to look at is just the overall vibe and the structure of the team off the court and in the locker room. Getting that burden off of your team with the person who doesn't want to be there, who doesn't want anything to do with the team, that provides a refreshing and a new energy for this ball club, and we can actually see it the way that they've been playing this season. The team just looks like a really well-oiled machine. They look rejuvenated, and all of these guys seems to be in sync with each other, and all that is so important for the game of basketball because, once again, it is a team sport. And I'm not just pulling this out of my ears. The stats back it up. We look at the Philadelphia 76ers right now. They rank 5th in the NBA in points per game at 119. They rank 3rd in the NBA in total offensive rating, and they have a top 10 defense ranking at number 8 in defensive rating. So the Philadelphia 76ers, they are looking special right now. And not only that, they are at the top of the Eastern Conference. Coming off their last win against the Boston Celtics, they now have a record of 6-1. And to be honest, all those things we just talked about, that's not even what I'm most excited about for the Philadelphia 76ers. And I also think what the Philly fans should be most excited about is how much better we're about to see Tyrese Maxey get. And it's crazy, before the season started, I made this list, made a video about players who's going to have a breakout season, and Tyrese Maxey was on that list. And I just really thought that things were really looking good for him to have a great individual season. We see James Harden, after that whole thing, I think in the summer, we all knew that James Harden wasn't going to be a Philadelphia 76er at the beginning of the season. So I thought that the ball was going to be in Tyrese Maxey hands a lot more, and that has been the case so far this season. And Tyrese Maxey has handled a bigger role so well so far this season. And so we take a look at Tyrese Maxey through the first 7 games of this NBA season. He has been nothing short of spectacular. Look at his numbers. He's averaging 25 points per game, 7 assists per game, to go along with 5 rebounds per game, and his shooting splits are phenomenal. 48% from the field, and 40% from the three-point line. And also, after watching the game last night on ESPN, SportsCenter came on. They were talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, and they put this graphic up on the screen. They said that Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid are the first pair of teammates to average 25 plus points per game, 5 plus assists, 5 plus rebounds per game through the first 7 games of the season since Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant. So whenever you do something that those two guys did in their tenure in Golden State, you're definitely on the right track for something special. But back to the task at hand, Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is going to be phenomenal this season, and I don't think we've seen the best version of him yet. I think he's going to continue to get better and better as this season go on, because that's what he's shown us so far in his NBA career. His NBA career has been nothing but consistent, steady growth, and the growth is actually pretty crazy. And two things that really stand out to me, number one is the three-point shooting. The way he's revamped his three-point game, or the way he's became a better three-point shooter, is really, really impressive to me, and it shows me that he's a gym rat and he loves the game of basketball. Because if you go read Tyrese Maxey draft profile right now, all of them knocked him for his three-point shooting. And you look at him since he's been in the NBA. This is his 4th NBA season. Rookie year, only 30% from the three-point line. Next season, he comes back, he shoots 42%. Season after that, he shoots 43%. And now we're in this year, 7 games into the season, and he's still knocking down 40% of his three-point shots. Now, and Tyrese Maxey, he's not just taking 2 or 3 or 4 three-point attempts per game. He's a volume three-point shooter now. He's knocking down around 3, 4, 5 threes on a given night, and he's probably taking somewhere around 7, 8, 9 3-pointers. So he's getting those shots up, and he's knocking them down at an insanely high clip. So I think that right there in itself is very impressive. And then another thing that's standing out to me is his playmaking. And Nick Nurse talked about this. Losing James Harden, you're losing 11 assists per game. You're losing the guy that led the league in assists last year. So it's a lot of playmaking responsibilities that you have to make up for. And Tyrese Maxey, he has stepped up. He's leading the Philadelphia 76ers in assists per game right now, averaging 7 of them per night. And he's not just taking on that burden by himself. Coach Nick Nurse said Joel Embiid, DeAnthony Melton, Tyrese Maxey, all 3 of these guys are going to take on the playmaking burden. So I feel like they've done a great job of that so far, all 3 of those guys. And Tyrese Maxey has really shocked me with his playmaking abilities. And other than that, man, those are not the only things that make Tyrese Maxey a wonderful basketball player. I love his ability to put pressure on opposing defenses with this ability to drive the basketball. He is lightning fast, and what makes him even harder to guard is that he has the mid-range game. So if he sees you sagging off or playing him to the rim, he definitely has that ability to stop on a dime in that mid-range area and knock down that mid-range jump shot. He also does a great job of finishing around the rim, and he's getting more comfortable taking contact and getting to the free throw line. So Tyrese Maxey, I'm a huge fan of him. I definitely love watching him, and I think by the time we get around to February or January, whenever the All-Star game is, I think him and Joel Embiid, they're definitely going to be there repping the Philadelphia 76ers. So far, this team has looked spectacular. I love this duo of Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, and the Philadelphia 76ers. They got everyone playing well right now. Kelly Oubre is having one of the best years of his NBA career. Tobias Harris is more involved in this offense again. And the Philadelphia 76ers look like one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. But that's going to be it for today's video. Just want to talk about how Tyrese Maxey, how special he's going to be this year for the Philadelphia 76ers. And this team is definitely still going to be competitive with or without James Harden. Comment down below if you agree or disagree. Subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.